Hi everybody and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make another delicious Polish recipe. This is Poland's version of dumplings, the world famous pierogis. I'm going to be making Pierogi Ruskie. Let's look at the ingredients that we're going to need. First, I'm going to chop up my onions, but I'm going to keep them separate because I need them for two different parts of the recipe. Next, I'm going to cook down my onions until they're translucent. I'm going to season them a bit with salt and pepper. And with this batch, I just want them to become translucent. I'm not trying to get color. I covered up my pan just to try and encourage the sweetness from the onions to come out. So my onions are ready, let's have a look. They look nice and soft, so I'm just gonna put them onto a little bowl. With my other onions, I want to saute them and get them browned with some bacon. Okay, and now that the fat of the bacon started to come out, I'm gonna throw in my onions. Okay, my bacon and onions are nicely browned, so I can put them to the side and start making our filling. Alright, I've got my potatoes which I boiled earlier, so I'm gonna throw them straight into the bowl and I'm gonna start matching them. If you have any leftover potatoes from last night's dinners or anything like that, throw them in here. And next I just incorporate everything else. So I'm gonna go in with my white cheese, the onions, and I'm gonna season with salt and pepper and mix until combined. I knead it with my hands a little bit just to help it all come together, but it's ready now, so we can move on to do our dough. Okay, our dough is very simple. So first I'm just gonna go and put in my flour into a bowl through a sieve. And then I'm gonna make a bit of oil in the center. And in here, I'm gonna crack in an egg. I'm gonna put in my sour cream. And finally, I'm gonna add in my water. And just mix it all together with a spatula. Okay, now that you can see that my dough is kind of coming together, I can dump it into my work surface. I'm gonna flour my surface a little bit and dump out my dough. And just knead it away for a couple of minutes. Add in flour as you need to. I like to try to grab the little bits of flour that are flying around and form it onto one big ball. And if you have a bench scraper, this comes in very handy. My ball of dough is ready. It's nice and smooth, or smoother at least, and it's nice and elastic. If I press it, it bounces right back. So this is perfect. I'm gonna rest it for about 30 minutes and then we can start putting our dumplings together. Okay, my dough has finished resting. Let's have a look. It looks great. So I'm gonna put it into my flour surface. I'm gonna split my dough in half just to make it easier to work with. Keep the half you're not working on covered. Next, I'm just gonna grab my rolling pin, flour it as well, and just roll. Okay, my dough is nice and thinly rolled now. So I'm just gonna grab a cookie cutter and cut out circles, but I'm gonna dip it in some flour to so that it doesn't stick to the dough. Okay, I actually have tons here, so maybe we're gonna have leftover dough, but I can just take off the excess. And these scraps you can actually save if you're running low on dough. You can just re-roll them. Okay, and now we can start filling them. So I'm gonna grab one of my little wrappers and grab about a tablespoon of filling. You put your filling inside and stretch the dough over to cover it. And you can shape the filling with your fingers as you go. Press the edges in so they stick together. It's very similar to how we filled our gyoza. If you want to check out that video, make sure to click the card up here. And that's it. So easy. Now I'm going to put them into a very well floured chopping board. This dough can be quite sticky, so you don't want them sticking to each other. If you want to be fancy, you can take a fork and do a bit of a design like this on the edges. Doesn't that look pretty? Pierogis are very important in Polish cuisine. You eat them for literally every special occasion and you can fill them with virtually anything. Meat, fruit, vegetables, whatever you can think of. A Polish grandma can make hundreds of pierogis in one sitting. It takes skill and, above all, patience. If you find that your dough isn't really sticking, you can dip your finger in some water and just moist the edge of the dough, and that will help it to stick. I have some water coming to the boil and I'm gonna salt it quite heavily. Okay, my water is boiling, so I'm gonna go in with my pierogis. I just try to get rid of any excess flour and then put them in. But I'm gonna put in 3, maybe 4 at a time. I don't want to overcrowd the pan. And as they go in, move them a little bit so they don't stick together. Once I see that they're starting to float to the top, I will cook them for 1 more minute and then I can take them out. I'm about to take them out, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil into my dish and spread it around. This is just so that they don't stick when they come out. These pierogies love to stick to everything. And I'm gonna take them out. And I'm just gonna continue cooking the rest of my pierogies now. The rule is that once your pierogies come out of the pot and you put them into your dish, you need to let them cool down for a bit, but never put them on top of each other, they will stick. And if you're not gonna consume them straight away, once they cool down, you can move them to a dry plate so they don't sit on the liquid that they're releasing. While they're on the plate, I'm also brushing them with a little bit of oil, and this will also help to prevent them from sticking. And these are ready to be enjoyed now, but I'm gonna make them even better. As the pierogies are now, they are perfect for storing. You can put them in a Ziploc bag, well covered in oil so they don't stick. Stick them in the freezer or put them in the fridge to use the next day. Then you can either boil them to thaw them out or just fry them to heat them up a little bit if they're coming out of the freezer. Okay, I've got my fried bacon and onions from earlier on, and I'm just heating them up a little bit, and then I'm gonna go in with my pierogies in here and cook it all together for a couple of minutes. I wanna get a nice kind of crispy parts of the pierogi and give them a nice color as well. Okay, they're ready, let me plate them up. Get a few bits of your onion and bacon on top. And that's your beautiful Pierogi Ruskie. They look and smell delicious. Let me give them a try. These are excellent. The filling is so creamy and that cheese flavor is fantastic. I love that we got the crispy bits on the outside by frying it, and the topping of the sweet onions with the salty bacon is unreal. I love these. I could eat them every day. If you want to keep this vegetarian, you can skip the onion and bacon and top them with some sour cream and a sprinkle of dill on top. It is also delicious. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As any dumpling, pierogies are a little bit time consuming, but it's so worth it. You end up with so many that you can freeze and store in the fridge to have whenever you want. It's 100% worth it. If you try these or any other version of these, please post them on Instagram and make sure that you tag me. I would love to see how you get on. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave me a big like and let me know what you thought of the recipe. Subscribe to the channel also so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. With that, I'll leave you for this video and enjoy.